Hmm. Just woke up from a nap, so sorry if I'm a little slow. I won't have a lot of time to cover things. There's sometimes I nap and then I regret napping, but I should just like go to meditate instead as a default. And then if I fall asleep, then I fall asleep, you know? How you been, buddy? Yeah, dude, you were dying last time I talked to you. Yeah. Okay, caustic, crypto, alter. You guys play zone. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I already skipped ahead. You guys are abusing. You're playing here early. You use this is tier two. Okay, yeah. And immediately tell from like positions and how you guys are rotating. Yeah. I'm more concerned about okay, so you're probably gonna switch teams, you know, or you this team's not gonna last or something like that. Yeah, okay. So what is it you wanted to go over? Because we can't really go over team stuff, right? What do you think is like kind of something you've been struggling with lately? Do you think that's like your biggest issue? That you're just dying? Okay. Do you know kind of like right away what your mistake was or okay. Yeah. Yeah. There's a good disengage there. But then your team is just whoever your crypto is like I don't know. Yeah. They need to figure it out. Um Macro was not great. Their yeah. What's going through your head here? Mm. You don't normally tunnel. Is it because you haven't played in a while? Is it because like you're playing with kind of shitters or yeah, but you should be able to play well regardless of who you play with. So my concern is what's stopping you from using cover here, right? Gone to the left. Yeah. Yeah. Even before I drew it, like you immediately knew, right? You're just so zoned in on this. Is it because yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. I think you already know better. Why? So the yeah. I mean, your teammate, I think you probably did you feel safe because your teammate was already in the open? You know what I mean? Because he was up there for a while. I mean, yeah, he shouldn't. Yeah, he shouldn't be peaking that, and then you shouldn't be peaking it that hard as well. Like he was able to disengage
I
entirely.
think I don't know. I could be.
Yeah, what's going on? You've gotten worse. It's just like a fact.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. It's definitely just probably 'cause I haven't played, or I don't know. I'm just washed.
Maybe that might be true. I don't know if that's true. What's your
But
motivation to play these?
what these scrims? Or,
Yeah, like what's your motivation of
I mean, I just
like
want to grind to like play again. I want to join a team and play comp again.
is it just to play comp?
As a
Just for fun?
um, I want. I've been streaming too. Like I want to stream again. I don't know. I just want to
Okay.
grind.
You just want to grind for the sake of grinding? Grinding?
Yeah.
Okay. Um do you notice like your response had like no mention of improvement at all?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So are you just like grinding for the sake of just
I mean,
like
I
putting
want
in
to
the
get better.
time? Yeah, but is that your most important thing? Is that your priority?
I mean, yeah. That's why I'm playing. I want to get better.
I don't know if
Like,
that's
I don't
true.
need to. Yeah.
I know that's something that you want. I don't know if that's your biggest want. I don't know if that's your biggest desire, right? Because like I've asked you when I asked you like why do you want to do this stuff? Like you never once replied with, "Oh, I want to be the best. I want to get better. I always want to try to improve." Right? Some people answer that, and you used to answer it that way, right? And I know you just woke up, and that used to be like your automatic response in some pockets of time, right? It would happen like maybe 2 or 3 months at a time, and then you'd burn out because you chose the wrong people to play with. But currently, it's just like you just want to grind, just like put in hours, and stream more. So that's not a bad thing, right? It's just that, um, yeah, just trying to see what your goals are right now, what you're trying to accomplish, you know? So I don't even know if like looking at your like mistakes here is like worth it, right? Like does it make sense? Like is your goal just is it to have fun with a game?
I mean, no. I want to like. I want to win every tournament I play. It's not like I'm playing to like.
Okay. Do you want to win every tournament you play with your current skill level?
No. I'm
The
already
reason
like
I'm
playing really bad right now, and I want to get like better at
I
this.
yeah, I know I sound like really mean to you right now and I sound like really skeptical. It's just that like I'm I'm trying because like the way you're talking right now is very
I
different
mean, like
than how you've
I
responded
don't
to
know.
me in the past.
Grind to me means like
Hmm.
get better. That's what it means in my head.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
saying just grind to like.
Yeah.
I'm saying like I want to grind to like become the best I play. Like I'm not saying I'm
Yeah.
like wasting my time.
Yeah. I don't think you're wasting your time. Yeah. And I know it probably sounds like implying that you are
I don't
wasting
know. I
your
must have
time.
said it wrong or just I don't know.
No, no, no. I'm just trying to figure it out, right? Just trying to figure it out with you.
I'm
Um,
not trying to play to be, like stay at the same level that I've been at or just get worse.
yeah, I'm genuinely asking you because like I don't want to push you in a direction that you don't want to go, right? Or that you actually want to go. Because like if by like the end of this conversation you realize like I actually just want to like play to have fun. Because we've had those conversations and you've had those moments in your life, right? Where you just like want to play to have fun, man, because you're burnt out, right? Or for another reason, right? Like everybody has those moments where you don't want to grind anymore and you just like want to play to have fun, and that's okay too, right? So I'm trying to figure out like what your actual mental state is, right? So yeah, that's why I'm asking because you've been in both places before.
Yeah, I've definitely just.
Yeah. What do you think you're in right now? Do you know? If you don't know, that's okay too.
What do you mean? Like,
Are you in your, because I know you said you're grinding, right? But like, are you grinding just to put in hours and just like, you know,
no, no, I'm grinding to get better. Yeah, I'm like,
okay,
I want to be the best I've ever played.
okay.
I just like I feel like I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I sound skeptical, right? It's just that,
I understand. I mean, there's been a
yeah,
couple times where I just didn't want to play the game and just like stop playing. And
yeah,
understand.
yeah. Given the history of our conversations, I just like, yeah, I'm a little careful because I don't want to like push you, like, I don't want to like, yeah, I don't want to influence you to grinding, and then like a month later, you're like, Valve, I'm burnt out, you know? Like, well, fuck, I should have.
No,
I'm being a,
I haven't been playing this game at all. So
yeah,
I can
that's
like pick it back
another,
up right now and be fine.
yeah, I know, that's another reason, right? Like, you haven't played in a while, right? So I
I've
was,
been playing weird, like super weird games, like not even shooting games. So
yeah, well, that's another reason, right? Because like you've kind of been off the free agent market for a little bit as well, you know?
yeah,
So I was just assuming like you were like working on life and stuff. Like, all right, cool. If I get no news from you, I just assume things are good, right? Because like,
yeah.
yeah, like no news from
It's
you is
been a
good
lot of fun.
news.
I was like, I've been hanging out with my brother a lot, just going to his house, like swimming, stuff like that.
Oh, nice. You said swimming?
He just like, yeah, he has a pool. He has a big pool at his house. It's like 2 feet
Oh,
long.
that's so dope.
Yeah.
Does he have a diving board?
He's nah, he doesn't. He lives in a like a pretty big apartment place, but there's no
Mm-hmm.
one ever at the pool, and it's like a nice big ass pool. So me and my
Oh,
brother go
dude.
just every day.
Yeah, one of my friends is used to live in a pretty big apartment like complex, and like no one used the pool except like maybe once in like July during like July 4th or something. And we just like go there.
Once you're there is like 5, then it's like that's fine with me.
Yeah. That's nice.
I've also been like, he came over the other day when he upgraded the interior of his car, and then he bought like new rims and stuff for it. So I've been doing that with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Sounds really cool, man. Sounds like, yeah, I like hearing good news about your IRL stuff, man. That's really cool. When I like that it's like there are times where, you can definitely be efficient with the game. There are definitely times where you need to like make it your main focus, but it's also cool that, you've um been focusing on stuff away from the game as well. So that way when you are in the game, you're actually focused on the right things. Okay. So, this is good then. All right. So, sorry, I've just been like kind of like trying to figure out where we're at for like the past 15 minutes. I kind of know what direction we can go in towards that. Cool.
Yeah,
So, if that's the case, if you're trying to get better and improve and stuff, the mechanics you already know what you need to do, right?
yeah,
Recoil control, R5, and also to not grind it for 8 hours a day, right?
yeah. I
Like
haven't even started playing R5. I'll just hop on right
yeah.
now.
The thing that I want you to focus on now is like when you say grind, you're like, I want you to think about constraints, right? Instead of like, I'm going to do at least 6 hours of playing today. I want you to cap it, right?
Yeah,
I want you to say, I'm only going to play rank for 4 hours, right? And then that's it. I'm going to take a break. Or I'm going to play for 2 hours, take a break, and then come back for 2 hours later. Right? The reason I'm saying that is because just like long term and your history, I just don't want you to get in the habit of, yeah, I just don't want you to get burnt out again. So we're going to start with that first. And another reason why I'd like for you to kind of go in that direction is because I want you to start thinking about the game outside of the game. Because it seems like you're asking me for like advice and stuff and tips and stuff. But when we talk, well, as soon as I asked you, like, what do you think is like your issue that you like really want to cover, right? You were like, oh, I'm just dying out in the open, you know?
yeah,
And then I asked you a couple more questions, you know, and you're like, oh, I think it's because I just got like too laser focused on this, you know? And then I'm like, hey, where could you have used cover? I'm like, oh, I could have just gone to the left. It is the job of the coach to ask like questions that you might have not thought of before, right? But those are very basic questions, you know, and those are questions that you used to ask before, right? And and it seems like from that response, you're not asking those types of questions, right? You're like, it seems like from like, yes, you want help. And I love that you're, like trust me enough to ask me for my help. Um, I'm a little concerned that, um, but basically you don't need my help for this. You know what I mean? At least for where you are at right now, right? Maybe in a week that might change. But I think like since you're kind of getting back in the groove of things, I'd like for you to start working on getting your um curiosity back, if that makes sense. Instead of like this, just you have this drive, you have this desire, like I want to grind, I want to get better, right? So we're going to limit that so that way you, with the time that you do spend, it's quality time. And then when you're playing inside of the game, you're actually engaged. You're not just like mindless about it, right? And then when you're out of the game, you're like your mind is excited. Your mind is thinking of like how you can use your time effectively, right? Like I want you to like instantly VOD review in your head like how you can improve, right? Not just like after you die, right? But like even before the game starts, and you're like, okay, like what am I working on right now, right? I like another reason I'm saying this is because like these are things you already know what to do, right? We've had these conversations before, but I'm just trying to remind you that like you have the tools, dude.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah. So like I asked you a couple of questions that you should have been asking, right?
Yeah.
And I don't mind doing that with you, right? I've been doing that with you for what, like almost 2 years now, and that's fine. But I want you to start taking initiative with that and like start taking control of your own growth. Like, don't just put in hours. Like, if you really want to be the best, it is not 10,000 hours. It is 10,000 iterations. It is like you're willing to make a mistake, and then you look at and you like think critically. You ask a lot of questions. You ask better questions. You instead of just like trying to solve a random problem, right? You want to make sure that you're solving the correct problem, right? Like if you go down and like let's say you win a fight, like if you go down in that fight, how do you win that fight without going down next time, right? Or okay, I'm having a difficult time closing space between me and the enemy. How do I think about that? And then you think about that for a couple of days, right? And you really think about it, and it's going to frustrate you, right? And you don't know. Maybe you'll ask me for my help and I'll tell you, just wait it out a day. Right? Like think,
Yeah.
you know. I think the reason like another reason why I'm telling you this is because I think and I think you're starting to realize this too. Let me know if I'm wrong, is that you've let a lot of other people think the game for you.
Yeah.
Am I wrong to say that? Yeah.
That's
I mean, like if we look at that clip where you just like died out in the open, this like one example of like many, right? Where it's like, hey, like come shoot this with me. Like we have to kill these guys, but you're not being independent, right? You'll become a better team. Like you did that out of like this intent to be a good teammate, right? But you'll actually become a better teammate if you know how to like play your own life better, right? And make better decisions on your own. Okay. So you already know how to be a good teammate. So like to improve, you always have to either improve at being a good teammate or improve at being a good player. You know what I mean? And some you can try to do both at the same time. Usually it's only going to be one at a time, right? So you already know what it's like to be a good teammate, but in order for you to be the best teammate right now, I think you need to learn how to be a better player. Okay. And I need you to start thinking about things independently. And I'm watching these scrims, man, and I'm just like,
we win this game.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't
It's a
care.
fun game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm more looking at your habits and how you're moving, right? Like where you're positioned on the map, like what floor, what you're looking at. You know what I mean? Like we can listen
I
to the
actually love
comms.
playing Caustic.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I died in the middle of the open because I was talking to my dad. I literally was AFK.
Oh, okay. By the way, your dad is
I
like
don't
one
know.
of the coolest dads. Uh, yeah.
My dad's dope.
Yeah, your dad's dope. I'm a
We
fan of
played
your
some
dad.
games together recently.
No, really? What games?
We've been playing Battlefield 6. We played Doom together and had like a huge guild.
No
We had like
shit.
a crazy guild on Doom, like insane,
Unreal.
and that was really fun.
I don't know you were
We
a
had
Dune guy.
yeah, that was fun. I've been playing Rust with my older brother.
Yeah,
That's been fun. Yeah, I've just been
that's
trying to
great.
play a bunch of different games. Just have fun.
Yeah, just have fun. I think you have a healthier relationship with gaming now than you used to. Remember when it was just like an escape for you and it was just like you're just like if I have to play Apex and nothing else, right?
Yeah, I literally only played this game for like years.
Yeah,
I
dude.
played it
I
for
was really worried about you, man. So here's the like good news. You definitely have like a healthier relationship with the game. And that also means that you're kind of like in a mental state where you can be more purposeful with your practice, right? So this is why I do want you to have like a limit with your practice. And we're going to learn how to use that time effectively. Okay. Over the like we'll have a couple of these
yeah,
sessions. They'll be pretty short, like half hour, maybe hour at max, and we'll just talk. And if there are specific in-game problems that we can address, then I'll bring that up. But I think for our first session, like it's been a while, since like we worked together. Um, I'd like for you just to be more mindful about your time and also be more mindful about kind of taking ownership of your own growth, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I
I kind
don't.
of messed up. I don't know why. Sorry,
Go ahead, finish.
I just was taking myself a lot in caustic gas in this VOD. I keep forgetting that caustic takes damage out of the caustics. This is my first time playing him.
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. I'm going to be honest.
And you take a lot.
Yeah, it used to not be. I don't think that used to be the case. I'm like 99% certain that you could like walk in through enemy gas.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
They just recently changed that. I just kept forgetting.
yeah, same. Yeah, I don't know if I'm a
I
fan of
like
that.
playing caustic though. I like that I can like hold a lot of space with his traps.
Yeah, yeah. And there's no bans yet for CCs. I think there will be.
Yeah,
Like,
we played this comp the whole time,
yeah.
and it's gonna be
See,
random POIs. You see that?
yeah, yeah. I think
That's gonna be crazy.
who are you teaming with? Do you know, or do you not know
I
yet?
have no idea.
Okay, you'll figure it out. I mean, you're a high value player among like free agents, especially in tier two.
This was a dumb peek. I'm just peeking in the middle of the open. I just climbed up on the
Yeah,
wall and everyone saw me in the
I
wall.
mean, did you even VOD review this before you asked me to VOD review?
I did a little bit, but nah, I shouldn't. I should have done it more.
Yeah. So what the hell, dude?
Yeah, this was
Right? So listen, if you're gonna play for like 3 hours, right? Like spend a half hour just going through your stuff, like through your mistakes and like seeing even your wins. More importantly,
I
your
did it on
wins.
rank. I did it on rank the other day. Kept watching
Yeah.
myself die on my VOD.
Yeah. And just like go back and just take a look, clip it and then see like how can I do this better? Right? How can I be better? I want you to like that curiosity that you've had that before, right? But only in bursts. That's the thing that we're going to try to cultivate over the next like couple of sessions is you just kind of like learning not to be obsessed with Apex, but to be obsessed with the process of improving. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I know it's not anything specific into the game, but if you can start like being excited about that process where like you play a game and then you're like your mind is like brimming with like possibilities and questions after the games are done, that's the thing that we're aiming for. Like I want you to like walk away from like a scrim and then like a half hour later like, oh, maybe we can like play this cup, you know? I want you to get excited to get back into the game, right? That's the thing we're trying to cultivate, and because it'll help you like with your improvement, right? Like, because it seems like the reason why we're trying to switch into distraction is because before it seemed like you were trying to improve out of dread. Am I wrong?
You're definitely right. That's like, yeah,
Yeah, it was like
definitely.
it was like you felt like you had to prove yourself, right? You have nothing to prove now, you know, like, which is good for you, right? You have like no pressure, and you just get to play around with like trying to improve. This is a very different Randy than I've ever like talked to before. This is really interesting. Yeah, that's why I was a little weirded out by it at the beginning. I'm like, okay, which Randy are we talking to? It's kind of a mix of both, right? Like you're,
I got eight of me.
what'd you say?
I said I got eight of me. I was just joking.
Oh, okay.
I got eight different Randys. Remember? Remember? What's your version? I forgot the name.
Franquavius.
Yup. Yep. There it is.
Franquavius. Yeah. I guarantee there's a guy named Ranquavius somewhere.
That's legendary. And I named
Yeah.
Logan.
I bet you there's like a couple of them. But yeah, that's all I got for you. Like in the session, it's not like very long, but I think
That's fun.
if you just kind of, yeah, and I just want you to start taking more ownership of this, man.
Yeah.
It's cool. I think you went to me, right? Because like I'm someone you trust, right? But the way you approached me, it seemed like it was like it felt to me you're like I need somebody else to think for me, right? And that's not true.
Yeah.
And you've gotten into that habit before where you allow people to take ownership for stuff. And I've always loved it when you like stick up for yourself and you like set those boundaries, you know? I think my favorite clip of yours is like when you're like, shut the fuck up, man. Remember when we were playing with Bofer and the other dude, you know? That
Yeah.
was great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. Just like the backseat gaming is a pro. Just shut the fuck up. Just let me play the game. Right. That's the Randy that like I want to see play the game. Right. Like that sense of independence, but also like knowing how to play off of his teammates. I
I
don't
have
want
that clip.
it's great. I think I might have like sent it to you, but so you can just like look it up in links in our Discord chat. But I don't want the Randy who's just like, oh, this guy's IGLing me and he's a good IGL, and because of that, I can shut off my brain. Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you fall into that trap again. Right.
Yeah.
And even if you remember, even if you do win, like very decisively against a team in a fight, you know, or in a position, I always want you to think like, what can I do to get better? Holy shit, your teammate just. I mean, like, what can you do in this situation?
I'm not trying to be rude, but there's a lot of
Hmm.
times when Lorenzo just died.
Yeah,
Like a lot.
I mean,
And
all
it
of
was
your.
like what you full went in there and just died.
Yeah, this is all open space. So, what can you do in this situation with your comms? Remember, we talked about comms, positioning, utility. What can you do in your comms in this situation to direct your teammates better? You're not the IGL, but what can you say?
I mean, I probably could have told him where they were peeking him from better, maybe like on the
What
door. I
can
think he gets guys from the door or
that's
from the door.
info? I want to hear a command. What command can you do in this situation?
I honestly don't even. He's in the middle of the. I could tell him to like queue forward, maybe like
Okay,
peek through the wall right there.
maybe even here. Maybe that was a little too
I don't
close.
know because he's sort of just in the middle of the open when he asked me right there. But it's like
Yeah,
literally, you're like right here. I'd probably tell him to go like left, like bottom left with E-risk or something.
yeah, yeah. It's like
Just
don't cross the open. It's literally that simple. It's like don't cross in the
literally
open. Go to the left
exactly that.
side. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
I'm not gonna
So
lie, I might cross through the middle of the open by my. No, I think
yeah.
we ultra TP'd actually.
Okay. Here's the deal. Since you're caustic, you're going to be backlining a lot, right? Not all the time, especially since you have a crypto. So we'll talk about in-game stuff then, since we were talking about out-of-game stuff, right? Out-of-game stuff we already discussed. In-game, if you're backlining a lot with caustic, a lot of because you don't have that information, you might be afraid to tell them what to do. Always tell them what to do.
Yeah.
You know why? If they disagree with you, they just will ignore you or they'll tell you no, right? That's it.
Yeah.
So especially your IGL, like your job, the IGL's job is not to like come up with the plans. Like, yeah, they can come up with plans. You throw around the plan, right? But their job is to make that final decision. So if your IGL's here and you're like, hey, go left, you're like, no, 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 like push open space, right? That's their job. You know, you can remind them of that. Right? You need to like, yeah. So we're gonna try to
Can
build
you
your
stream on
comms.
Discord again? I just got 130 of ads.
What do you mean?
Could you stream on Discord for me? I got ads.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got you.
my bad. Oh, I don't care. I didn't even realize it. Yeah, I keep forgetting I have ads. Send all
I did
like,
a lot of damage to these guys though, but my teammate died. Dude,
yeah,
130 is the
but
best
how do
amount
you,
of damage.
true, but how do you control your teammates better, dude? Right? Like, how do you improve in this situation?
I
What,
literally just let him walk up and didn't even say anything.
yeah, what's within your control, dude? That, do you see what I mean? Can you see why we're talking about your mentality first besides the in-game stuff? The in-game stuff is easy, right? But can you see how your mental, like how it affects like your in-game stuff, like your in-game behavior, right? And how you FOD review. So how do you take more ownership over your team? Stay there, reset, come with me. I'm gonna play the building. We're gonna take this building, okay? Like if you watch Zainu when he was playing with MT, like MT was the IGL, right? But Zainu was pretty much like telling people what to do quite often, right?
Yeah.
And it's not bad. And I'm not saying
I
you
told
have
him to
to,
like swing that guy right here, or I told him he was right there or something. I definitely,
yeah,
I understand what you're saying though. My guns could be 10 times better.
yeah.
Cause I
So
stay
that's,
strong. Like I tell him he's there. I don't tell him to like swing him.
mm-hmm,
Like I don't. Yeah.
yeah.
My
So
guns
the,
aren't like useful. They're just like there.
yeah, it's like there's a guy in front of me, and like, all right, what am I gonna do with that information? Nothing, right? It doesn't change any behavior.
Yep.
Okay. But for you, the way we're going to frame it for you specifically is ownership. Okay. If I can get it down to one thing over the next couple of weeks, I just want you to take ownership of your own growth, your own mistakes, and your own VOD reviews, right? And then if you have like a particularly difficult problem or I want you to ask like 10 questions about a problem that you're dealing with before you come to me. Is that unfair?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. It's not because I'm like, I find you like annoying or anything like that. It's just that I think that you're way more capable than you present yourself to be,
Yeah.
right? Old Randy, I would have just said, okay, let's go over this together immediately. But this new Randy that I'm sensing, right? Like, you know your shit now, dude. You've played in Pro League before. You're a veteran, right? So stop acting like you're a beginner. You have the right stuff to get into Pro League. You know that. Again, right? You have the experience, you have the knowledge. All it took me was like one or two questions before you immediately figure out what you needed to do wrong. You need to ask those questions yourself. Okay?
Yeah.
Was there anything else you wanted to talk about? Because this is all I got for you.
I think that's good.
Great, man. Well, that was fun talking to you. I'm really like I have no idea how happy I am that you have like such a healthier relationship with the game now and like just life in general. I'm really proud of you, man. Like you've grown just so much as a human person, you know? I sound like an alien when I said that. A human person.
Yeah.
A human bipedal organism. Yeah, you see how like split your teammates are right now? Just like all in different directions, and you could have controlled that. I'm not going to tell you what you could have said. You already know. You know what I mean? And whatever I come up with is nowhere going to be as useful as whatever you come up with because you're going to say it in your own way that Randy knows how to say to get them to do what he wants them to do. Right?
Yeah.
Right. I do have a long term goal with this. I won't tell you, but I'll give it like a month or two. And then Yeah, I do have a secret goal with this. So
Nice.
ask me in a
Let me
month.
know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, man. Cool. Well, that's all I got. And yeah, cool. I'll talk to you later. Have a good night.